If your child looks great in training but disappears at showcases when it matters most, this video is for you. Because I work with hundreds of players who were elite in practice, players that coaches raved about on a Tuesday and couldn't recognize them on a Saturday. And every single time, the answer wasn't more training, it wasn't more skill work, it wasn't a new team or a better coach changing the environment. It was something happening inside their head. A pattern trained so deeply that they didn't even know it was there. And chances are you as a parent played a bigger role in creating it than you realize. Not because you did anything wrong, but because nobody ever told you the truth about how confidence actually works under pressure. Today, that changes. Let me say something that's going to make a lot of soccer parents uncomfortable. What if I told you that most parents think they're building their child's confidence, but they're actually training fear? And the worst part, they're doing it with the best intentions, with love, with encouragement, with everything they have. If your child looks confident in practice, but they freeze in games, if they hesitate under pressure, they play safe after mistakes, or seem to disappear when the moment is big, it's not because they're not talented, it's because confidence is being completely misunderstood. Today, I'm going to break down almost every soccer parent gets wrong about confidence, and more importantly, what actually works if you want your child to play free, aggressive, and fearless. Stay with me, this one is going to change how you see your child's game forever. But first, let me introduce myself. My name is Valentino Di Lorenzo, and I work with over 500 players, MLS Next, high-level competitive soccer players who were absolutely elite in practice and with their friends in the backyard, but the moment they step into the real game, something shut off. They were unrecognizable. The skill were there, the talent was there, but what was missing? The mental tools, the habits, the beliefs that professional players carry with them every single game. 8 weeks later, after working with us, those same players were team leaders, captain, playing fearlessly in the biggest moment. Not because they suddenly got better technically, but because their mind changed. And in every single case, parents played a massive role, both in the problem and in the solution. Let me explain. So let's talk about the biggest lie parents believe about confidence. Confidence comes from success, goals, assists, good games, praise after a win. So naturally, parents try to build confidence by saying things like, just believe in yourself. Remember how good you are. You're better than these kids. And I get it. It comes from love. You want your child to feel good going into the game. But here's the problem. If confidence only exists when things are going well, then the first mistakes destroy it. The first missed touch, the first time they get pressed, the first bad decision. Pressure instantly wipes out feelings-based confidence, because real confidence, the kind that holds up in big moments, is not a feeling, it's a behavior under stress. Confidence is not what your child feels before the game. Confidence is what they do after a mistake, after getting pressed, after losing the ball, after a bad touch, when they face bigger opponents. And most parents accidentally are teaching their children that mistakes are dangerous. They should avoid them. Now I'm gonna walk you through the 3 biggest mistakes parents make. Mistake number 1, over coaching from the sideline. I know you're trying to help, but what your child actually hears is not instruction. What they hear is mistakes are not allowed. So what happens? They hide, they play backwards, they stop trying anything creative, they avoid the ball in big moments because they don't want to get yelled at. That's not low confidence, that's learned fear. And that's the big difference. The number 2 is emotional reaction after mistakes. They already are upset about their own mistake, but when they see you dropping their shoulders, when they see you moving away from turning your body, then your child is watching too. And they're not watching the game, they're watching your face, they're watching your reaction. And their brain instantly learns, when I mess up, I disappoint my parents. Now, instead of resetting and refocusing on the next play, their brain is stuck into the mistake and replaying that mistake in their head, processing the shame, missing the next 3 moments of the game, and then the game's over. And this is not weakness, that is human neuroscience. This is how every child's brain works under social pressure. Number 3, thinking confidence is talking and not training it. Confidence is not a pep talk. And it's not a speech before a game. It's not a motivational poster in their bedroom. Confidence is a trained response of pressure. And if your child has never trained what to do after mistakes, they will default to the safest, most invisible option on the field. And unfortunately, when you do private private training, the coach does not teach them that. And that's not their personality, that's their programming. And programming can be changed with simple tools that we teach. So many parents are confused. Why so many parents are confused? In practice, their child looks completely a different player. Confident, creative, skillful, but in games hesitant, invisible, and safe. So parents say he just needs more confidence. She just needs to believe in herself more. He'll grow out of it. No, here's what happened actually. Practice confidence is fake confidence. There's no crowd, no score, no fear of judgment, no coach watching every decision, no parent on the sideline. Games trigger the survival brain. Under real pressure, your child does not rise to their beliefs, they fall to their training. If the only thing they've been trained to do is do not mess up, play safe, don't make mistakes, that's exactly what you'll see on game day. The brain under pressure doesn't have time for feelings, it executes the program it's been given. So what does real confidence actually look like? It's simpler than you think. Real confidence is knowing exactly what to do in games, in pressure moments, and when things go wrong. That's it. Not a feeling, not a belief, a clear trained response to failure. And the Oriental Soccer Mindset, we don't teach kids to feel confident. We teach them what to do next. And here's the framework that we use. Number one, we teach them to embrace a complete new personality, the shark mentality, aggressive, fearless, taking risks. And after a mistake, we tell them the goldfish mentality, moving on from mistakes like the pros, and we simple trick to do that so they can forget mistakes quickly and not stay with the mistakes for so long. And then when a mistake happens, reset and using positive self-talk. So the mental loop that we teach is to basically train themselves to move on quickly from mistakes and to be aggressive and take more risks every single time. So it's not a generic hype or motivation or watching a YouTube video about be confident and take risks. It's actually a trained behavior that we do in practice. We practice in games until it becomes second nature. Also, what we do is we train players to win the first action in the game. Play simple at the beginning and then build on that confidence, because the brain settles when it gets an early win. So imagine if your kid tries a step over or like a big trick or a big shot from far on the first shot and they miss, immediately their brain goes in protection mode. So try something simple and then building upon that confidence, a small win to start. And when a player knows the next action, fear disappears. Not because they're brave, not because they're talented, because their brain has clarity. I make a mistake, just like Mbappe, Messi, Ronaldo. What do I do after is what Ronaldo, Mbappe, Messi do. So it doesn't matter if I make a mistake, I can move on just like the pros. So I want to be honest about something before we go any further. The number one thing I see stopping talented players from reaching their potential, it's not their coach, it's not the lack of skills, it's not the team they're on. In most cases, it's their own parents, especially the one that have been on a call with us and then they think it's too expensive to help their child become their leader in their team, and they let them struggle, especially when they're playing MLS Next, DCNL, or highly competitive leagues that are very expensive. They see 550 results, we tell them that we can help them, and then they end up not doing it because they think it's expensive. But what's expensive is waiting another season to see if this goes away. And most of the time, they just miss the opportunity, they lose their spot in the team, they quit soccer, because statistically speaking, 70% of kids drop out of sports by the age of 13, right when they get to the MLS Next level. If you want to help them, support them along the way, reinforce to reset after mistakes. If you don't want to do this all alone, I'm sure it's not easy as a parent to tell them what to do. We have a specific system that helped over 500 players already. Some became captain of their team, some playing in PSG, some are playing in Real Madrid, some gained scholarships. So they really went from fear and bench, just like myself, to become captain of their team, and they're fearless right now. I have a link here in the description if you want to take a look of our program, and our mission specialist will check your application when you fill out and we'll schedule a call to see if you're a good fit for the program. I'll see you in the next video.